Sexual immorality is no doubt one of the most controversial issues in today's religious sector. We all know it is a sin. It is so hot that even God takes a look on attitude when man perpetrates it.
I have searched the Bible, trying to locate one incident of scripture where someone was punished for adultery or fornication. I don't think I have found one.
But didn't God punish King David for fornicating with Bathsheba?
Yes, God punished David for the murder of Uriah, not specifically for fornicating with Bathsheba. Because David continued this dishonorable relationship with Bathsheba, who later became the mother of great King Solomon.
Pastors warn against sexual immorality, but only a few dare to preach explicitly about it. Preaching against sexual immorality is like nailing the truth in everyone's eye, and many pastors avoid it, not only because it makes the congregation uncomfortable but because many pastors themselves are neck deep in it. Hence, the usual say on the altar, "Do what I say, not what I do."
What is sexual immorality? Adultery, fornication, prostitution, homosexualism, and so on. Let us talk about the most perpetrated of them, which are often cited as grounds for most divorce cases. Adultery and fornication is an extramarital engagement with the third party to maliciously interfere with marriage.
Does that mean you cannot commit adultery if you are not married?
Any form of illicit engagement between two opposite sex outside the covers of marriage is adultery.
If adultery and fornication are sins, then it should be punishable. Does God punish people for committing adultery?
I think the honest truth is that we are left to suffer or deal with the consequences of our actions. Whatever perils we face as a result of committing adultery or fornication is the price we are paying for our actions, and not necessarily a punishment from God.
Is it true that men are polygamous in nature? Is living in polygamy an adulterous life? Is it a sin for Christians to engage in polygamy? Are Christians who practice polygamy living in sin? What does the Bible say or reveal about polygamy? Is monogamy just an English or European culture but not actually a Christian doctrine?
There is no scripture in the Bible that categorically forbids polygamy. Without mentioning that polygamy is sin, Jesus teaches that it is better to get committed to one woman for obvious reasons. Coping with a woman's rivalry is stressful enough, not to talk of having to deal with two.
We all know that it is a sin to commit adultery, but our knowledge of this has not stopped or deterred us from doing so. Religion aside, women are eager to come against the idea of polygamy because they feel more disadvantaged or vulnerable in most relationships and marriages. Are women unnecessarily feeling insecure, or is their fear about the infidelity in men potent? Shouldn't the fear of infidelity in all relationships or marriages be mutual?
No man is comfortable with the idea of sharing their woman likewise, while more women are against the idea of polygamy. Research and statistics has shown that more married women in this generation admit to have committed adultery than married men. This makes me to conclude that most of those who speak openly against polygamy engage more in some form of extramarital curricula than those who are quiet about it. Guilt might just be the reason for your obsession and antagonistic tendencies.
Polygamy, or adultery, which is preferable? Would polygamy put an end to the adulterous nature of men?
Polygamy is not the solution to infidelity in men. Given the right to have more than one wife does not stop a man from fornicating. There are much more complex issues as to why people commit adultery. Peer pressure, pocket economics, body hormones and chemistry, nostalgia, solace, and many other emotional imbalances.
Is everyone guilty of adultery and fornication?
Maybe not. There are extraordinary human beings blessed with power and grace to resist.
Are you guilty of adultery?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, you, Pastor.
It is difficult to admit. You are not alone, should I say.
Can adultery and fornication be rooted out of a human life?
Yes, But until the hold of sin is demystified,
You're talking mysteries, Pastor?
men who are married to extremely beautiful women still commit adultery. Likewise, men who are married to more than one wife. So, it is not the habit, but the consciousness of sins that makes it evil. The element of sin is what brings flavor to our illicit habits. Unless the element of sin is taken away from adultery and fornication, it shall continue to attract every man and woman, irrespective of their religion, age, color, or kind. The consciousness of sin is what adds flavor to our habits. When the element of sin is taken away, most habits lose their flavor. I mean that our interest in such habits are depleted.
And how are we supposed to do that?
We have to embark on a policy of unconditional forgiveness. We must be ready to choose between strife or forgiveness. Like saying, darling, I know you cheated on me today, but I have already forgiven you. When he comes cheating on you the next day, say to him again, darling, I've already forgiven you. And again and again. It is very simple, but I'm not saying it's easy. Unconditional forgiveness is the key to demystifying the dominance of sins in our life. Until we are able to embark on a policy of unconditional forgiveness, shall the tentacles of adultery, fornication, and other vindictive sin disengage from our lives and that of our partners. Forgiveness is our only hope.
Brought to you by Pastor Tay Martins, Kingdom Unity Ministry. If you love this content and like to receive more of it, please subscribe, like and share.